keep launching, I think, is one of the main lessons here, because I put so much into my copywriting funnel. I made it so complicated and put so much weight on it that when it didn't succeed right away, I was like, oh, this doesn't work. But now I have new ideas for funnels all the time, and I feel pretty confident that I could just get something launched in a few days.
Boom! What's going on, everyone? This is Steve Larson. Welcome back to the One Funnel Away Story Show. I am asking awesome entrepreneurs their entrepreneurial journey and some of the hiccups and bumps, the highs and lows along the way. And today I have a very special guest on with me today. It is Heidi Anspaugh, and very excited to have her on. And welcome to the show, Heidi.
Thanks so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. Right before we got on, I was actually looking at your Facebook profile and looking at all the things you do, and it's pretty amazing. Could you tell everyone what it is that you actually pull off?
Well, thanks. So right now I'm a funnel and launch copywriter, and I'll say that I got into this business because of ClickFunnels. I discovered ClickFunnels when I was probably at my low point, June 2018. I lost all my digital agency clients. I didn't know what to do. Yeah. I had no income. I think I got served an ad for the Lady Boss webinar, sure. Signed up. By the end of it, I was signed on with ClickFunnels for 6 months. But that was before the OFA challenge. I didn't know what I was doing. So it took a while to figure out how to use ClickFunnels, and I'm sure we'll get into that more later. But in January of this year, I decided to niche down on funnel copywriting, because one thing I discovered right away is that entrepreneurs who use ClickFunnels really need help with their copy.
What?
A lot of them, I know, shocker, right? They don't know how to write copy that sells, or they just feel like they're not writers. They've got self-limiting beliefs about it. And so I started getting my first clients on Funnel Rolodex, and kind of took off from there, and then just kind of became known in the community. And now I've written things for 2 Comma Club winners, like Colton Kruttinger just wrote his ebook that he's using to launch a course to help people with anxiety. So I've gotten to work on some really cool things, and it's all thanks to ClickFunnels and the One Funnel Away Challenge.
That's awesome. So, I mean, before you were doing copywriting, which is awesome, by the way, that's you had a digital agency. When did you start being an entrepreneur? Was it by hey, I really want to go do this? Or was it kind of by force, life situation?
Yeah, it was kind of by force. I just did not fit in with the mainstream 9-to-5 work world. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah.
I had a particular experience where I was building a huge community for Sony PlayStation. It went from 10K to 12 million, and it was really a great, challenging job, but also I call it now my best and worst job ever, because I was super challenged, worked with an amazing team, but then, had a really horrible boss who sort of took out his fear of failure on all of us and, went to battle against him with HR. Spoiler alert, I lost. I lost. I got fired. But from there, it was kind of there was no turning back. I mean, I did try to get other jobs after that, but what happened is I would get a job and quit pretty quickly. I'd be like, this is not for me. Or if there was any hint of that sort of abusive, environment that I had experienced before, I was out of there. So I was like, okay, I got to figure out how to work for myself. But back then I was a community manager. Most people don't hire that as a freelance position.
Sure. Most
of them want that in-house. But then I realized, okay, I could be a social media manager. The skills are very similar. You're still kind of building community with words, and you're the voice between a brand and their audience.
Yeah.
And I knew I was good at that. So it just took a while to get used to all the platforms and learn all those skills. But I started getting, pretty decent freelance jobs doing that, and then just kept going with the freelancing. Then I moved to Portland, Oregon from the Bay Area about 5 years ago, and decided to start a digital agency with my husband. So he was kind of the sales guy, and I was the main content person. So, but even then, I wasn't calling myself an entrepreneur. I just thought that I was giving myself a job.
Was it I remember when I first started, I had all these negative connotations almost with being an entrepreneur, what that means, or did you have some of that?
I mean, I don't think I even knew enough about entrepreneurship to self-identify as one. Honestly, at that time, I was not tuned in like I am now with the entrepreneurial community. Like I'm in all kinds of Facebook groups on, entrepreneurship and digital marketing. I have my own Facebook group. I talk to other entrepreneurs all the time, and I'm like, yeah, I'm one of you.
Yeah.
And then last year I helped somebody start a mastermind group. I was his community manager, but we called the title Connection Concierge to make it fancy.
Ooh, very fancy. I like it.
Yeah. And he kind of chose me because he's like, well, you're also an entrepreneur, so you get what this is like. And he started calling me an entrepreneur. So then I was like, okay, I'm really going to embrace this now. And I started, doing courses and just trying to level up in all areas. And
That's
I wasn't
awesome.
just treating it like a job.
Yeah. Yeah. So you treat it like a job that you go to each day.
Yeah. And when I started the agency, I wasn't. I was just like, I'm giving myself work. I'm preventing myself from having to go back to a 9-to-5 and work for somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I also treat mine like it's a job. It's 9 to 6 every day. I don't really usually work on it much beyond that. And not too many people treat it that way. And I'm like, what are you doing the rest of the day? So it's cool to hear you say that because anyway, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I think you have to, or you're just not going to progress.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
So you go in, you start this digital agency, you lose the clients, or whatever happens. And then, what from there? Like, how'd the journey go from there?
Well, I was pretty depressed for a couple weeks.
Sure.
Went through all that, all the negativity and self-limiting beliefs. But then, really, it was discovering ClickFunnels. I'd kind of heard of it, but didn't know what it was, and then dove into it. And then I was like, oh my God, I could just launch a new offer, or instead of going through the pain of building a new website or totally recreating my business, I can just figure out how to throw up a quick offer or product. I will say, though, it still took me quite a while until I did that successfully.
Sure.
Because when I signed on with ClickFunnels, the One Funnel Away Challenge didn't exist yet.
Right.
And I did sign on for the first one in October, but I had a full-time contract job at the time, and I didn't realize what I was committing myself to, was not prepared and could not keep up. I got behind when we were still in I forget what you call it, the first week where it's belief week.
Oh yeah, week 0. Yeah.
Yeah. So I started over again in February and actually built my copywriting funnel and started my Facebook group and, got deeper into the world. So that's when things started to take off.
That's awesome because there's a ton of people who have a hard time with just the day-to-day pieces that need to go through. There's a lot. It's work. You do all the pieces, but the good news, you had so many experiences running a digital agency. I'm sure that translated.
Yeah, for sure. And I just worked on so many marketing teams before that for companies that I was able to take processes we had and apply that to my own business. So it wasn't starting from complete zero.
Right. That
helps.
That's super nice. So, okay. So then you go in, you see the One Funnel Away Challenge, you already have ClickFunnels. And then, when did you take it? The challenge itself?
February, March of 2019 is when I signed on again.
Okay. Yeah. That was, okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, that was a great group. There've been a lot of crazy success stories that came out of that group, like Alex Elliott, Mario Payage, all these people who kind of launched something from that session and have done really well.
What surprised you about the challenge the most?
Surprised me. Probably just how much it demanded of you. It is time consuming. So if you don't put aside 1 to 2 hours a day, you're not going to be able to keep up.
Yeah.
And I think the more involved and engaged you are, the better you're going to do. So taking the time to actually be a presence in the Facebook group, get feedback, give feedback to other people. That's also time. And, watching your daily lives, was a big part of it, but something else you got to make time for.
Yeah.
You know? So just you really do have to dedicate your time to it and take it seriously, and then you'll get results. Because I think the problem now is a lot of people just never finish.
Yeah.
They start out really excited and enthused, and then they drop off.
Yeah. It's funny. It's, I remember the first time I was sitting in Russell's office and I was like, so what's like the purpose of this challenge? You know, it was still in inception. We were thinking through this, and we were thinking through how it wanted to be run. And he's like, you have a way of yelling at people without yelling at them. I want you to go. I was like, okay, that's a good, thank you. But it was cool of him to say. And then I said, so what's the goal then? And he goes, I'm not trying to be rude here, but you have to understand, like, not everyone's a dream customer of ClickFunnels or of any business. And he said, your role is to find the people who want to actually just kind of do the work. And then those who won't, they'll kind of fall out a little bit. And sometimes it's not laziness. There's life things that happen, or, usually it takes people a few rounds to go through it. But if someone is like, let's say someone's gone through it, maybe they feel a little bit jaded. Maybe they're like, oh, this was more than I thought. What would you say to that person?
I would say it is a lot, but stick with it. Like, there will be a payoff. Because honestly, I signed up for the next challenge too. So really it took me 2 challenges to completely finish my funnel.
Yeah.
Because I, wanted it to look really nice. I bought a really nice template. I'm a copywriter, so I was really concerned about every little piece of copy. I was like kind of being a perfectionist about it. It probably could have gotten done sooner, but that's just how I went about it. Yeah. But I also made the mistake of, once it was finally ready and I started promoting it, I only promoted it for like a week.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, this isn't working. And then I moved on to something else.
Yeah.
So sticking with things is really key. And, I think that's a message you drive home too. In the One Funnel Way challenge.
A lot of yelling.
Yeah. But people need that, like, I'm definitely somebody who I do better if I'm being coached. So like someone who's holding me accountable and holding me to taking action every day, because it's too easy to make excuses, even if they're valid. Like, well, I don't have time because I have to go work on this client project so I can pay the bills and feed my kid,
Yeah, absolutely. And, okay, so then, the challenge is laid out week by week. The offer, the message, the funnel, and the traffic. What offer did you land on? Did you actually build?
Well, I didn't start making money through a funnel until I did a paid masterclass in my Facebook group.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So just taking my skills, like not overcomplicating it, because I think I overcomplicated my first funnel. I gave away copy templates for free. I got a lot of people to come in and grab the freebie, but they weren't signing on for my high ticket package because it was like $3,000 to $7,000.
Right.
And usually that, you need to nurture somebody into that. Yeah. So, that funnel worked for me as like kind of a landing page for my business, but not to make money. So the paid masterclass is where I started to make money, and I started to realize, okay, I have a simple offer. I'm being very clear about who it's for and what they're going to learn. It's low ticket. Yeah. And I've got an offer bump or an order bump. I've got a, upsell. Simple. Started to make money. So now I'm doing one of those a month.
One per month is the goal? Like coming up with like a new offer to drop out like that? Yeah.
And now I have ideas all the time for funnels. Like they just launched a 30-day Medium publishing challenge.
Wow.
Which is off very low ticket. It's like $19 for this 30-day challenge. People are buying that. It's just keep launching, I think, is one of the main lessons here, because I put so much into my copywriting funnel. I made it so complicated and put so much weight on it that when it didn't succeed right away, I was like, oh, this doesn't work. But now I have new ideas for funnels all the time, and I feel pretty confident that I could just get something launched in a few days. So I've gotten over my fear of launching. Yeah.
How did you, so the first week's about the offer, and now you have like that's what I love, and I'm so excited to have you on here, because you have a pattern for how often you're launching. So, because that's kind of what I try to do as well, is that's one per month. And I figure that's enough time for me to make the offer, put the funnel together, a message, but then create like a whole bunch of campaigns and sales pressure. Because you have to have time for that too.
Yeah. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah, a lot of time. So you do one offer per month. And then as far as sales message writing, since you are a copywriter, I assume that's probably the part you learned probably the least on week 2. How did you become a copywriter?
I've just always been a writer, And it's always been a big part of every job I've had. Like I've been a journalist, a web editor, a community manager, a social media manager, a digital marketer, a content marketing manager. It's all based on writing.
Yeah.
And so I knew that was my superpower. And then I found an opportunity within ClickFunnels, like, okay, I'm going to be a funnel copywriter.
Yeah.
Everybody needs this.
And you're already good at it.
There's funnel scripts, but I think, people sometimes need more than that.
Sure.
So I just decided to niche down finally. So again, like kind of not overcomplicating my own work as well. Like trying to do everything for everybody, that never worked very well.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't do that either. What funnel did you land on? Like what funnel did you land on putting out there? What is it right now?
Well, my latest one is the 30-day Medium publishing one. And I'm just using the same template I used for my masterclass.
Nice.
I had a designer make it just a simple one pager, but also like people can spend so much time tinkering within the ClickFunnels platform that can keep them from launching. But I just don't let little things hold me back anymore. I'm totally on the philosophy of taking massive imperfect action. I think and since I started doing that, I've seen a big difference in my business and my income.
Ready, fire, aim. Just get it out the door.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be perfect. They're all going to be evergreen, so I can always go back and upgrade.
Yeah.
But
and
I don't.
The hypers will be all about buying it, even if it's imperfect. Absolutely.
I think another thing that was super key for me that I didn't understand before the challenge is, you can make the most amazing funnel ever, but then if you have no following, you're not going to get very far. So I think luckily I was kind of working on that along the way. And for me, what that looked like was just being active on Facebook, being active in Facebook groups. For a while, my own Facebook group was to support people through the One Funnel Away Challenge. So I did a lot of networking within OFA challenge groups, making connections with other entrepreneurs, bringing them into my group so they could make offers and then kind of getting that reciprocated. Just posting a lot more on my personal page, things that like value posts is what I would call them.
Yeah.
Where you're telling a story, also giving social proof, and then, using other social channels as well. Building my email list, which I started doing because of my Facebook group.
Yeah.
So at least now I have more of a place to make offers, and it's all organic. I haven't put any paid ads behind anything yet.
My next question was about traffic. So that's awesome then. So you have a group, you're going out and doing Dream 100 and kind of like JVs kind of stuff, pulling people in. And right now, has it mostly been you promote for me, I'll promote for you kind of thing in your groups?
Yeah. Like I don't have any affiliate programs yet for my stuff. I think that's probably next.
Yeah.
I kind of had to prove, for myself and for other people that it would sell.
Yeah.
So I think that's next. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I guess, what advice would you give for someone, what advice would you give yourself, your 20-year-old self, right? Like right before you're about to go launch this game and get into this space. I don't really believe in shortcuts, but I do think that you can like compress the amount of time on the path, and go faster on the same journey. How would you compress time? What advice would you give? Get
a coach or a mentor. I think that's the number one. And it could be $100 challenge that you sign on for, just as long as there's something or somebody holding you accountable every day and forcing you to take action, because I think we can all get so lost in our own heads. And I definitely spent probably a year after I discovered ClickFunnels chasing shiny objects.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is you might be learning a lot, but you're not taking action.
Nothing's happening.
Yeah. So if I could shortcut anything, it would be that process. Like just get a mentor as soon as you can. I've gotten mentors through trades. Like I'll do copywriting for them in exchange for coaching because, I can't afford a $10K a month coach yet.
Right. Right.
Maybe one day, but not there yet. So get mentoring and coaching as soon as you can.
So what's the next steps for you then? Where are you going?
Well, it's cool because I have a whole list of ideas and things I want to launch for my next funnels. And so it's not so much being lost in like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to launch. It's more like, when can I get this done? When does it make sense? Put out this next thing, and I don't want to give my Facebook group or my list offer fatigue.
Yeah.
I don't want to sell them. So just being really strategic about it. And also like really paying attention to the value ladder. I don't think I totally understood that when I first did the OFA, but it does make a lot of sense to have like a low ticket offer and then like maybe it's a paid masterclass and then my next thing is a mini course and then my next thing is paid coaching. So I've definitely got like plans that go up that ladder, and that feels like the right way to go about it.
That's huge. I was just talking with someone over the weekend. I was doing some consulting for them, and they said exactly that, but it's funny how it just continues. They're like, we have a $10,000 thing. And I was like, that's cool. What do you sell them next? They're like, it's $10,000. Like, we don't have anything else. And I was like, no, that's a $10,000 lead, right? You need like something more expensive because there's always going to be a group that wants to go further with you and have more access to you and you have the done for you and the higher up. Like that's awesome. That's super cool. Yeah. I guess any final advice you give to someone who's like, I don't know that ClickFunnels works. It's all a scam. Funnels are dumb.
It's a cult.
It's a cult. Yeah. Sure.
Is that a cooking tool?
Yeah.
What advice do I have? I mean, get coaching on how to use it, first of all. Because, if you buy into any software and you have no clue what to do with it, you're not going to get very far. Yeah. So, not to be a commercial for OFA, but like that's one great way to get started, or work one-on-one with a coach. Like just make sure you have a clear idea of how it could apply to your business. Because I think a lot of people I see a lot of questions like in the OFA in the early days, and each challenge group I've been in, people are like, well, how do I know if this will work for my business? And I've seen a lot of videos where you're yelling at people for that exact question. Like it works for any business.
My gosh.
Right? You just have to, put some thought into it. It's just a platform, right?
Yeah.
You could do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I would say get some coaching, have some idea before you get started of how it can work for your business. Look at what other people are doing in your niche.
Yeah.
And funnel hack them.
Yeah. And you don't know until you launch. So just get it out there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Even we're guessing after a while. It's like, all right, follow the patterns and then we're guessing.
Yeah.
Well, Heidi, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate that. This is awesome. And it's fun to hear other businesses, just how they're crushing it with this stuff. So thank you so much. And I know that everyone will find a lot of value from this.
Great. That's awesome. And thank you so much. It was really fun.
Awesome. We'll see you later.
Okay. Bye.